Hi, I'm Lori Zerga, and I'm here to invite you to my 3-day event, Feminine Power Flow Live. I started doing these events a couple of years ago, and I do a couple a year. Sometimes I do 3, mostly I do 2 events a year. And when I started because I noticed so many women feeling scattered and pulled in a million directions and just feeling like they were running all the time. There was this tightness, almost forgetting to breathe. And I understand it because I was there, where I just felt like I had so much going on. And I even have days sometimes now, but I have tools now that can help me and remind me to tap back into who I am and to find that peace, that calm. I think part of the reason we feel so scattered as women is that we're taught to compartmentalize. We're supposed to be nurturing and caring for our children, sexy and appealing to our man. And in business, no sign of our femininity and sexuality to be brought in at all. Or God forbid what we might be accused of. So I started it because of that. And I was remodeling my office and I found a file folder full of questions and journaling that I had done over the years. And then I thought, what is going on with women? And I interviewed several women that I worked with in corporate and asked them. And I asked women business owners. And I got some real clarity around some things that help women. So I developed the formula. You look at yourself with different lenses to really know who you are. So that's where I started, was to empower women individually. But what I realized is that we all have such an impact in the world, and that such amazing things happen when you gather women together and build a network of women. And I started thinking bigger, like this is almost a movement. I noticed other women coaches that were talking about things like this, and I noticed other events that were gathering women. A lot is going on. So I challenge you to find that group of women that inspire you. And it starts with you individually. And I wonder what it would be like if we are all authentically who we are and we take steps towards our dreams and we really think about what we would love. And that's what this formula is about. And so I created this 3-day weekend where you can take time for yourself. And if not now, when? It's important to take time for yourself. So let me tell you a little bit about the formula. The first step is looking at the roles that you play. We are daughters, we are employees, we are business owners, we are wives, we are mommies, we are homeowners. And just looking at homeowners, you're the bookkeeper, you're the handy person, you're the project manager, you're the blah, 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 blah. And you can go down the track on what you are as a homeowner. Lots of different roles. One woman who was participating in this activity that we do said afterwards, oh my God, I thought I was going to be so stressed looking at all the things on paper that I do. She said, but it makes me feel powerful and strong, like, wow, I do so much and I get it done. I do get it done. So what are those things for you? You know, sometimes you notice something that's on that you're doing that maybe you don't really want to do anymore. Or maybe you notice children are growing, so maybe your parent or mother role is winding down. What is it for you? So that's the first step. The second step is looking at your priorities. Are you in alignment with your priorities? Are you taking action on your priorities every day? We should all over ourselves. Lots of things going on. And really, it's because we get this outside messaging. It might be a parent's voice or a grandparent's voice or a teacher's voice or some article or maybe our church or something that we think we should do something, but we don't have to. I have clients that say things like, oh, I should go to the gym. And I said, well, do you like working out at the gym? One woman said, no, I don't really like working out at the gym. I said, well, what physical activity do you like? She said, I love dancing. I said, okay, how could that be your physical activity? Would that be more fun? She goes, I think I could really get into that. So what is it for you? We'll talk more about that in a minute. But are you in alignment with your priorities? That's really interesting, and there's some exercises to explore that. Then we look at your themes. What are the things that weave through your life that make you feel like you're floating on air, that kind of come up? It could be anything. We look at your inner beauty. That's a juicy one because we have so much messaging about how we should look and what beauty is. Beauty is just a fashion fad, really, when you think about it. The colors, the styles, some styles, sometimes voluptuous is the fashion ideal. Think of the Rubenesque paintings. Sometimes we're supposed to have wide hips. Think of the bustle. There's so many different things. So we get into a lot of meat and juice about inner beauty, including self-care, because we can't bring ourselves out into the world unless we're taking care of ourselves. And self-care is like a slippery slope, because if we don't take care of ourselves, not only do we have less energy and less to give to others, but we actually start to lose trust in ourselves. Because think about it for a minute. If you had a friend that canceled on you, was late for meetings, or when you met was on the phone the whole time, they wouldn't be your friend anymore, right? You'd start to say, oh yeah, sure. Let's get together someday. Because you don't trust it. And I think that impacts our self-worth. And it can impact your bottom line. One of my clients, Jody, came to the event, and she called me later to say, wow, you can't believe what happened since I came to the event. And she not only came to the event, but she did 6 weeks of virtual training, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But after the virtual training, she called me and she said, when I came home from the event, there was a $3,000 check from someone who owed me money 5 years ago, and I had written it off. I just thought it would never happen. So that was kind of just a coincidence, fun thing. But she said besides that, she had her best sales month ever because she had shifted and felt different about herself. So these things are really important. Once you acknowledge your inner beauty, then we talk about your power, and that's a whole thing of acknowledging the inner strength that you have. And then from there, we look at dreams. We can't even get through airport security without a ticket and a destination in mind. So why do we sometimes live our life just going in our routine without thinking about what we would love and how to take action towards it. Sometimes there's steps that we can take to bring it to life today. One of my friends who came to my very first event, Mary, she and her husband owned a beautiful Victorian they had purchased when the kids were 5, 7, and 5, 7, and 9. And 20 years later, 2 of them were married. They had 3 grandchildren. And she was like, oh my God, we had dreamed of making this into remodeling it, raising the kids, and then turning it into a bed and breakfast when the kids moved out. Well, all of the things had happened except for the remodel. And a little bit of electrical and a little bit of plumbing, because they absolutely needed that to live. Well, in 9 months, I had a meeting with both of them, and her husband was so cute because she told him all about the feminine power flow, and he's like, I'm bringing my MacGyver masculine energy in, and we're going to get this thing done. And in 9 months, they did all these things on their Victorian that they had been thinking about, but not really taking action. They got the outside of the house painted. They got the gutters redone. They restored the front porch, having the banisters relaid authentically. They built a porch off the back that integrated the house into the garden in a more modern way, but yet still historically correct. They stripped floors, repaired staircases, recarpeted staircases, stripped paneling, walls, got rid of the kids' stuff, repainted, and it's beautiful. And they did all that in 9 months because they realized, oh my God, if we don't do it now, when will we do it? So I'd love you to join me, and you can click the button below. The last step is the flow, and I think life really is simplified when you know who you are, what your priorities are. Does it align? Anything coming at you, you can ask those questions. Does it align with my roles, with my priorities? Does it get me closer to my dream? And if not, we can set boundaries. So let me tell you a little bit more about the event. It's November 4th, 5th, and 6th, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in November. It's in Santa Rosa, Sonoma County, wine country at a spa and resort. Beautiful. And I always have special guests, and I'm super excited to announce that I have a panel of a few of the women that have won the North Bay Women in Business Awards for 2016. I'm bringing this panel in to inspire us. Each of the women that are on the panel have won an award for some specialty in slightly different industries and different aspects of life. Some of them work for companies, some of them have their own company. So regardless of what your situation, I think it will be super inspiring. So I would love you to join me. The value of the event is $19.97, but as I say, this is so important. I want all women to really be bringing their most authentic self out into the world. And so I'm not going to charge you that. And you can see below that I have a special internet price. And if you're before mid-October, you can get the early bird special. I hope you get in on that. And I mentioned earlier that virtual training, and I mentioned Jody had done the 6 weeks of virtual training. Well, I want to tell you that the virtual training is bundled in. It's a $9.97 value, bundled into the price. So you get that as my gift included. And I do that because that way you'll get the PDF tools that you can use over and over again, and you'll get recording of each of the 7 modules, so that you can listen to them over and over again. Again, these are the tools that I used when I was transitioning each time in my life. So things happen and it's really amazing. And the other thing is by repeating things over and over, it's easier to sustain change. So that's why I do the live event where you get together with lots of other women and you get to discuss, have conversation, rich conversation, and you get to experience that. And I guide you through live. And then you can do it in the comfort of your home as well. And you can even dig deeper if you would like. Like some people are more inspired with other people, and some people are more inspired doing it themselves. So either way, you can get the flavor of both. So that's why I include that bonus. And the second bonus is an accountability partner because you can also sustain change and continue trekking towards it by having somebody to check in with. So I believe that's super important. So it's bundled with a guest. So I think the value of this is really great. We talked about if you feel like you don't have time, if not now, when? Aren't you worth 3 days? And will it matter in 20 years that maybe you missed a day of work or you took a little extra time for yourself? Probably not. So take some time for yourself and don't let the money be a big deal. I have the discount right now, and I even have a payment plan. I really would love you to join me. And I just think it's a really great opportunity. If for some reason you get to the event and you don't like it, I'll return your money. So it's guaranteed. I don't want you to be there if it doesn't really ring your bell. But I do challenge you, whether you come to my event or not, to think about these things that I've talked about, because the more you realize who you are and notice what you would love, I think the more we're going to take into the world. So join me, click the button below, and there's a number if you have any questions, and you'll be given more information via email once you register. So have a great day.